Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. It is 4:28 p.m. on August 5th, 2025 in Fairview, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. It is 21 degrees outside on a partly cloudy afternoon in the city. In this video, I traveled for 2.3 kilometers, starting at Husain Rahim Plaza, then strolled north across the Cambie Street Bridge and west on Nelson, then north on Beatty and west on Robson, ending my trek in the west end by the bus stop at Robson and Bute. To support the channel, click the heart icon to send me super thanks. For updates, follow me on TikTok and Instagram at jforestwood. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, share it, and subscribe.
Hey folks, Jerome Forestwood here. Currently climbing up the stairs here onto the Cambie Street Bridge. What an interesting view behind us. So this is the stairwell that'll take you from the Spyglass Place docks and Rahim Plaza and take you up off of the seawall trail here and up onto the bridge that we're on right now. We're on the Cambie Street Bridge. There we are, there's the bridge right there. You can see it's a major roadway and we're sharing the traffic with cyclists. There's some of the trail users right there. And they're heading on over to Hinge Park, which is part of the park that's on over in this area here. So, welcome to the Cambie Street Bridge. This is one of the very walkable bridges here. A lot of people feel more comfortable walking on this bridge and the Burrard Street Bridge, okay, as opposed to the Granville Street Bridge, where there's always some local that'll tell you, oh, it's a little scary, and it is. It has a different railing system. It's a lot older, and you can see here we have these large rails and stuff like that. So, and this really does feel like a nicer bridge, and the nice wide causeway here as well is just awesome to just stretch your legs out along, or skateboard, or unicycle, or cycle, or scoot, however you choose to go. You often see runners up here too. Then you got this view right here. How epic is that? There's some of the boats down below heading on out. And that is False Creek. And at the end, the terminus point there, that's where you see that silver ball, and that's Science World. So we'll keep walking on the Cambie Street Bridge here. Another thing that's cool about coming along any of these bridges is how you leave from the the much less dense areas of Fairview on the other side of the bridge, and then come on over here, and you can just see all of the different towers that are over here. There's a side view for you. Sometimes people don't realize you can walk across the bridges here. Not all the bridges, like you really should check out a map. Google Maps is pretty good. There's a few other map options out there as well that are pretty good. But yeah, you can walk across the bridge here. And in fact, it's encouraged. So, I absolutely enjoy coming up here every once in a while and just showing it off to y'all. Give me an opportunity to see what is here. It also gives you an opportunity to see like different parts, like the Concord Pacific Arc here. That is just an epic building, and it's actually in the shape of an arc. So the middle of it, there's a big hole, and then there's the arc part on top, and then there's apparently a pool in the arc, which I find fascinating. We'll get a little bit more of a closer view once we're down here a little bit further. And we can look up at the arc part of the arc, the Concord Pacific Arc. So here's one of the areas where you can chill out and grab a seat. There's a few benches here, and here's the arc right here. And there you can see the arc right there. I can't see the pool, but I'm sure it's there. Very, very interesting building. And of course, if you're on Beatty Street there as well, you'll be able to see it as well, and pretty well, especially at Beatty and I believe Beatty and Nelson. So yeah, now there's two options. We can head on down and over to Park Place, or we can head on down to Smythe Street. So let's head down to Smythe Street. There's Park Vancouver right on over there. That's the local casino. And if you want to head down that way, you just go along here. Okay? When we want to head on down to Smythe Street. And Marina Side Crescent, I believe. Okay. So we'll head this way. This will take you over to the Cooper's Park area. This is really built to accommodate both cyclists and pedestrians. So this is Cooperage and Marina Side right here. Well, we're gonna head on into the downtown area. We're technically in the downtown now, but the more densely populated part of the downtown. Am I headed on over here? And this way? And over here, we're coming up to Marina Side Crescent and Pacific Boulevard. So here we are at Marina Side Crescent and Pacific Boulevard. Just crossing the street. And you come out onto Nelson Street here. So I think another street takes you to Smythe. But Smythe and Nelson are pretty close together. So it goes Nelson and then Smythe and then Robson Street. So we'll walk up Nelson Street here. Don't always get everything on the map right. We're only human. Here we go. Let's keep going. Hey guys, good to see you. There's trees on over here and a few other restaurants. And this is his club kitchen. So it's a bunch of smaller restaurants working in and sharing the space. And we're at Expo and Nelson Street. And we'll cross the street in just a moment. And we'll keep walking on Nelson Street here. And here we go. We're just walking up the street here. And we'll head on over to Beatty Street. And from Beatty Street, that's where you can get onto Robson Street. It'll also take you into the Stadium District. And then, if we also take a look right now, you can see the arc behind me here. So there's the arc right there. This is Beatty Street right here. And in this section here, we're still technically in Yaletown. But when we cross the street up here, which I believe is Smythe, because that was Nelson Street, and then we will be into the Stadium District. Yaletown being one part of the downtown core, the Stadium District being another part. Past the Stadium District is Chinatown. So you can see how it goes. This is 7 Days Coffee on over here. These guys are really good. Went in there, had a nice iced mocha one day. It was like the most on-point mocha I'd had in a while in ice form, so it was pretty cool. Pretty cool, and it was a pretty warm day too, so it was really, really nice. I really did enjoy it. But yeah, so now we've left Yaletown, and because we've crossed my street here, we're now over here in the Stadium District. Across the street here is the Red Racer Tap House and the Red Racer Brewing Company. There's a little construction on here too right now. It looks like they're keeping both sides of the street open, so that's good to see. And over here, you see one of the Microsoft offices, as well as one of the Visor offices. And there's a few more in there. Mick Alhaney and Sotheby's. But up ahead of us here, this is the Stadium District. We have a new development on over here. right there. They're calling it 837 Beatty Street. Real original. It's been going up pretty well right now. It's good to see. Construction workers have been working very hard on it. And this is one of the ways to get into the stadium district. This is one of the more quiet ways. There's a stairwell just behind Boston Pizza here. And then over here, there's the main entrance right on over here. Entrance A to the stadium on over here at BC Place by the Terry Fox Memorial. And we're gonna head up Robson Street here. So we'll go up the street here in just a moment. Just waiting for the lights to change. Shouldn't take too long. And here we go. We're crossing the street. Oh my gosh. So we're crossing Beatty Street right now. And we'll continue here on Robson Street. Let's keep going. Up ahead here, this is Cambie Street. Cambie, when it gets to the downtown core, it turns or continues north here in the downtown core as the grid just goes diagonally, just switches from a vertical or horizontal lines to a diagonal grid system. Very interesting. There's one of our coffee shops right now. My husband's loving this because you can come on over here and get 2 iced coffees for $5. So he's been loving the waves right now. Look at that deal. $5 for 2. That is such an awesome deal. So, what's that, $2.50 each? And it's cold. And when it's a hot day out here, and it comes out nice and cold. Love me a Waves a cold brew. So we'll continue on Robson Street here. This is the intersection of Hamilton and Robson Street. I think both of these buses are not in service. Does this one say NIS too? Yeah, it does. So that is not in service. So whenever you see a TransLink bus, that's our bus system on over here, run by Coast Mountain Express. That's the company that manages our bus drivers and trains them and all that stuff, okay? Just heading also through Library Square right now. But when the buses say NIS, it means not in service. Now sometimes, on a rare occasion, a bus driver will forget to switch the sign and it might still be in service. So if it pulls up and they're like, "You coming on?" and it says NIS, a lot of people just politely tell the bus driver, "Hey, the sign's saying NIS right now." And the bus driver will just change it. Those guys work really, really hard, so helping them out sometimes when they're having an extra hard day or they're just a little extra tired goes a long way. We love our bus drivers on over here in Vancouver. They are awesome. And also, when you get off the bus, it doesn't hurt to say thank you. It really does go the extra mile for our bus drivers. So this is the intersection over here, Homer Street and Robson Street, and we just walked through Library Square, which is along Robson Street here, as well as the smaller Dilawari Square, which is just below the steps. We'll cross the street in just a moment. There we go. And we'll stroll along Robson Street. This is one of our main streets here in the downtown. The food delivery guys will meet over here because we're by Tim Hortons as well as IGA. And then there's a whole slew of other restaurants across the street here. There's a Starbucks coffee, and even in the future, we're gonna get a Brooklyn dumpling in here. And I cannot wait for Brooklyn dumpling to open. I need me my fast food dumplings. They're literally cooked in seconds, thrown in a box, and like $2.99 to $5.99. You get 6 soup dumplings, and you can just shove them in your mouth. If you want to buy a second box, you can buy a second box. If you really want to buy a third box, you can buy a third box. That's at least the juicy dumpling formula that we've had over in Toronto. But Master Buns is already trying to occupy that space. So you already got competition, Brooklyn Dumpling, and you didn't open up soon enough. So I've been going to Master Dumpling, and they're pretty good. Okay, or I think it's Master Bao actually, but either way, that's where I'm putting my servers right now, and they're pretty good. And then there's like a few fast food stalls out as well that do like Szechuan cuisine over in the Aberdeen Center that does a really good fast food dumpling too. But having one down here on Robson Street in the downtown core, it's kind of like, that's what I'm really hoping for in the future. But we'll wait and see what happens. And if something else moves in, well, wow. This is the intersection of Seymour and Robson Street. And I'll cross the street in just a moment. You got Rogers, Fido along this way, Five Guys, Aladdin, that's a nice little, Aladdin Cafe, it's a nice little kebab shop. Okay. A City on over here, and a few other shops. There's the Aladdin Cafe. Then this is Meat and Bread. And then this is Five Guys. And the city's right there. Across the street here. This is our scramble crossing here. It's currently not in scramble mode, but when it's in scramble mode, you can cross any of the corners there, including diagonally. So we're walking along Robson Street now, and we just crossed Granville Street. Once you cross Granville Street, then you're heading towards, and you're heading west, you're gonna head on over to Robson Square. I remember one time, one of the first few times that I'd seen Robson Square outside of the actual Robson Square was actually in one of the Tony Hawk video games on Nintendo. Back in the day. I think it was like Tony Hawk's 3 or something like that. They had Robson Square, you could skate all over the place. It was pretty fun. They even had like the skating rink down below and everything. Very nostalgic. You will see skateboarders over here very often. They're usually not in the main part of the square though. There's actually a few right now over here. And they're over by the steps at the art gallery. Looks like they're having a whole bunch of fun. So it is a bit of a skateboarding mecca. And the summertime too, especially on the weekends. Okay, but almost any day of the week you can find break dancers also down here in the evening times. And usually they're occupying the skating rink area because the skating rink's not open at that point in time. But they can still use the space, which is pretty cool. You're gonna see all the people passing me as we're heading on through the square here and just how busy it is. It's just so busy. So, we got buskers here. People just chilling out listening to the busker. It's a pretty epic feel. So yeah, if you've never been to Robson Square, definitely like a place to check out, as well as the North Plaza, Robson Square, on over there. I'm not pronouncing the indigenous name correctly, but I'm trying. So that's what the North Plaza, the Vancouver Art Gallery, is transformed into. Pretty cool to see that representation there. This is the intersection of Robson and Hornby Street. And we'll cross the street in just a moment. So the funny thing is when you're down here, this side always goes first. Okay. And then this side waits a little longer. So this is the north side of the intersection. The north side always is a little more delayed. So that's something to remember if you're coming through the area. You got the bigger root store now. They had the section up here, and then they got the section for the old Peloton store too. So now they're all the way from Hornby Street to the nice little laneway up here on Robson. There's one of the entrances right there. And there's some of the mannequins. Roots being an iconic brand on over here. So when Roots moved, okay, that's when Architects decided to move across the street here into the old Roots. Here at one of the big main retail sections here, Robson and Bute. And it moved from over there. So now there is a Peak Performance store opening there. And we'll have Architects over here. So pretty interesting to see. This is the intersection of Burrard and Robson Street. And we'll cross the street. Robson Street really is your busy retail strip here. Okay, in the downtown area. even though technically we've crossed Burrard and we're now in the West End. You'll see the downtown logo on many of the street signs over here.
It's an escalator.
You can really see how vibrant it is out here. It's not packed in any way, shape, or form. You could see it packed during the fireworks, okay, which happened a couple weeks ago here in the city, as well as during Black Friday and Boxing Day and that type of thing. The strip will get packed with people. But right now it's fairly busy. And that's good to see. We are the smaller city here on the West Coast. Like, I like to say that we're like the little big city here on the West Coast. It's still a major metropolitan area. Okay, when you consider all the other cities that are comprised, I think it's like 29 cities are comprised here in the Vancouver metropolitan area. And here, and that's like 3.5 million, and then the city itself is only around 800,000 people, while other cities have like 4 million, like Toronto. Edmonton's got like 1.2, maybe 1.5 million now, so it's growing as well. So yeah, we're, compared to them, we're the little big city here on the West Coast. This is the intersection of Thurlow and Robson Street. And we'll cross the street. So, just making sure I got everything in my pocket. I just changed my backup battery. Pretty flawless, eh? But yeah, even on these gray overcast days, you can see that it's still quite warm. Still wearing the tank top outside. When you're here in Vancouver, okay, right now there is a bit of humidity in the air always, so you can always count on it feeling a little warmer than it actually is. Humidity puts like a nice like blanket of moisture around you. Now it really cools you down at first, and then all of a sudden really starts to warm you up and make you sweat too. Because the moisture is pushing against your skin, and it makes it harder for your body to sweat, so yeah, warm up even more. So, and that's just part and parcel of living in an area, even though we're in an urban core right now, and it's no longer, this specific area is no longer a temperate rainforest. We're in the temperate rainforest, because this is the geographical area we're located in. And once you step outside of like the city bounds or just into the mountains in North or West Vancouver, you can really start to see like how wild it is out there and what those temperate rainforests look like. So it's quite a sight to see. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to wait to catch the next bus. And that's okay. It won't take too long. So anyways, folks, thanks for coming along. Just remember to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later, okay? Have a good day.